Good afternoon. This is Dr. Paula Duren, Director of Universal Dementia Care. Thank you very much for joining us today. We are so privileged to have with us Regina Lawson, and I think we call her Raven for short. And as we did in our advertisement, we want to talk about food today and the impact of food on our health overall and our immune system in particular. And in doing this, because we're all kind of shut in at this point, and I don't know about you, I have really leaned towards comfort food. And comfort food is not necessarily the best food for staying healthy. So I want to just welcome, first of all, Regina Lawson to our session. And Regina, welcome. And we want to just ask you questions and learn from your experiences. But welcome to Universal Dementia's Facebook Live. You need to turn your mic on.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, a little bit louder.
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, we can.
Okay.
Again, we want to just start the conversation and just tell us, just real short, who is Regina Lawson and Raven in particular? And then let's go from there.
All right. I'm the creator of the Herbal Walk and Talk and Chat and Chew, and I'm affiliated with the Detroit Riverfront Conservancy and Department of Natural Resources, where I do a herbal walk, and that's walking through the wetlands down on the river walk, identifying edible, survival, and medicinal plants, flowers, trees, and grasses. And just to let people know, there are things that you can go into your backyard and actually use to enhance your health if you need, in case of emergencies especially. And 3 plants that I want everybody to try to take down. Get a paper and pencil, as a matter of fact, because we do this on our grocery list. You want to look for plantain, red clover, and dandelion in your backyard. Those 3 items right there can make you an entire salad.
Now, Regina, would you repeat those 3 items again, please?
Okay, it's plantain. We had red clover. And my favorite of all 3 in the backyard is the dandelion.
Okay, let me just ask you before we get into those details, from your experiences, it's not uncommon for us to try to lean to comfort foods during moments of stress. Would you just initially just give us some advice on why that's not the right approach?
Well, we can do comfort foods. We just have to tweak them a bit and turn them around and use other things in the foods. In our cooking classes, we have vegan cooking classes as well. And say, for instance, comfort food, when I think of comfort foods, I think about black-eyed peas, collard greens, cornbread, macaroni and cheese. So we turn it around and make it vegan. And everybody seems to enjoy it. And they don't miss the way it was cooked before. But the way they're eating it now is much healthier.
Okay. Well, and before we end our conversation today, not at this point necessarily, I'd like you to talk to us about, instead of junk food, think about what some alternatives are, because some of us are leaning to potato chips and stuff we know it's not good for us, but it's always good to us. So just kind of before we leave, don't let me forget that, because I really want you to tell us what we could eat instead of true junk food, which I call comfort food.
Right. Okay.
So again, I know that you are a vegan chef and you do these marvelous things all over the community. Would you tell me about health in general and why our immune system is so important to our overall health?
Well, right now, since we got this virus going on, if your immune system has been built up and in check right now, you will probably less catch the virus. People that are ill with respiratory problems and have blood pressure and stuff like that, those are the people that are probably being attacked first. That's why we try to tell people to eat different herbs and spices. Everybody should have garlic, and everybody should have ginger, and they should have lemon and cinnamon and turmeric and sage and coconut in their kitchens. Helps the immune system. Even when I mentioned the plantain in the backyard and the red clover and the dandelion, you can also get those in herbal extracts and take that, and that will build the immune system. Also, essential oils are very good for keeping your immune system healthy, especially lavenders. I mean, we dress our beds. We teach people how to dress your bed. You put lavender on your pillow. You take eucalyptus and of course, you put it on your respiratory area, which is the chest. You
Mm.
take the tea tree and put it on the genital area. And then you put the peppermint on the feet and rub your feet with peppermint oil at night too. And so when you get in your bed that night, all these things are sleeping with you. And in the morning, you wake up feeling a lot better
Now, if I were
and
someone hearing that,
protected.
my first, just a general question, what would peppermint do for my feet? I mean, what would I anticipate?
Well, peppermint is stimulating and it keeps the blood flowing. And basically, that's what our group is about, cleansing the blood in the bowel. And long as you keep that bowel and your blood cleansed, your immune system will be where it needs to be. And that's so important. People eat the wrong foods, so you mess up the digestive system. People eat the wrong foods, and it gives them high blood pressure and things like that. So if your immune system is not working well, then the rest of your body system will not work for you.
Okay, okay. So if you were going to give us some basic wisdom, Raven's wisdom, what kind of points would you tell us about our overall health and the way we should eat?
You have to learn to eat clean. People need to stop eating dairy, sugar, salt, and fried foods. If you can start with those four things, just pick one at a time, one a day, I would say, and keep doing this. And you will find out, and you can eat salt, but you have to learn how to eat a better salt. You can't eat that regular table salt that everybody's been eating. The sugar, you have to change from that white sugar, and you have to start using different types of sweeteners like honey, raw honey. You can use maple syrup, brown sugar, turbinado sugar, not the brown sugar that they sell in that yellow box, because that's just molasses covering up the white sugar. So it's just people need to learn how to do these things. That's why we ask people to come to our classes out on the riverfront. They're free, and these are things that we talk about yearly. And I mean, now everybody's trying to do everything overnight. And we've been talking about these things forever. I've been talking about them for decades, actually. And now it's kind of catching up with everybody else, and everybody's trying to get in, in tune with what's good for them at this point.
Well, some of us, I'm glad to say it's better late than never, that
Yes, it
we
is.
are
It is.
trying to
And I'm
catch up with you and the gifts that you have are in possession of.
really glad to see that happening too. Um, Even when I've gone to the store lately, the foods that I usually buy, they're off the shelf, which is unbelievable. It's never happened before, it's always been plentiful. But
Interesting.
now I see that more people are turning towards vegetarian and vegan foods.
Well, when I think of vegetarian food, and I don't know if I hear people say, well, that's just too expensive. To be healthy, it costs too much. And that doesn't sound right at all, that to be healthy
No,
costs too much.
doesn't
Have
sound
you
right.
heard people make that excuse for not eating properly?
It's just an excuse because I look at it like this. I haven't taken I just turned 71 2 days ago. Um,
Congratulations and happy birthday.
I have not had any medication since I was 27, and I had it then because I was in a car accident.
Mhm.
So if I haven't taken medication in that long and doing what I've been doing for myself as far as eating and living holistically, then I think I'm in league with all this. If you go to the store and spend money on food, you don't have to good food, healthy food, clean food, then you don't have to pay for medication. You don't have to get in that car and go get that medication. You don't have to have, I mean, you just don't have to have the stress of getting medication. And I've seen people stress themselves out sitting and waiting for somebody to deliver their medication.
Mm.
I mean, you could take that time and do other things. So in the long run, it's better to eat better than to take medications and be ill.
Well, Ms. Regina, uh, give me some, let's say you're going to educate Paula at the base level. Make the assumption that I'm really not the healthiest person in the world. And you're not going to scold me because you love me and you want to educate me, because I'm already scolding myself. I
Right,
would
right.
like you to do the teach 101 that you would give just for a few minutes, if you would. Teach 101 about health and wellness and what I should be doing.
First of all, you have to change your habits. I don't know what everybody, and basically, I think everybody's probably eating the same thing if they're eating wrong. like I said earlier, just eliminate the dairy, eliminate sugar, salt, and water. A lot of people, I've heard people say they don't like water. So what we tell them to do is make their own infused water and take, say for instance, an apple core, put it in the bottle of water and drink that. Take orange peels, put it in the water, lemon peels, any citrus fruits like that. Any type of fruits varies. And you can put it in the water and drink those water, during the course of the day. Instead of grabbing a soda or a pop or even juice. Juice has a lot of sugar in it too. So that's where we get the added sugar and people are not paying attention there because a lot of people don't read labels. And that's another thing you have to learn how to do is read labels.
Okay.
Labels are very important because they tell you the things that are in there. And like they say, if you can't pronounce or identify some of those things that are being put in these different products as an ingredient, you should not buy it. But like
Now
some
you
of the
broke
things I
up a
mentioned
little bit,
earlier,
but it sounds like you're saying if you can't read or pronounce whatever the item is that's in
right,
your ingredient, you
you
probably
shouldn't
shouldn't buy it.
probably shouldn't buy it.
Okay. And you also said that I need to
And
increase.
if it has over 5 ingredients, usually
I'm sorry, you're breaking up a little. You said if it has more than 5 ingredients. Miss Regina, for some reason, we're having difficulty with your sound. Hopefully it comes back soon. But some of the initial things you said is we should be getting rid of, looking at dairy, the impact of dairy on our bodies. And I think what's important when people provide recommendations about changes in your habits, you need to investigate it yourself. You need to test it to see what the impact of that is on your body. If you're on
if it has
medications, you need to also connect with your doctor. Ms. Regina, I'm sorry, you're breaking up. Step back and tell me what you just said. Ms. Regina? I think we're going to have to figure out how to get a better line and reconnect at another time.
Can you hear me now?
I can now.
Hello?
I can hear you now.
I don't know what's going on. It must be the network, I'm sure. But like I said, when I asked everybody to take out a pen and pencil and paper to make a grocery list, you take these things and you investigate and research them yourselves. You should never take anybody's word for anything that they say or do. And you will find people about the dandelion, the red clover, and the plantain, about echinacea, mullein, peppermint, and comfrey. All these do this to give you a chance to get some little exercise in too at this time. Make sure they get essential oils into their cabinet. I have a herbal medic bag, and I have these things. Everybody, of course, they know at this point they need to have in their medicine cabinets alcohol peroxide. You need to have some colloidal silver, some apple cider vinegar, some aloe gel, and some honey of some sort, because honey can heal you as well. We talked about herbs and spices. That's the key thing that people need to start doing is cooking with herbs and spices. All these herbs, you eat every day. That's how you're building. My grandmother started me at 5 years old eating dandelions out the backyard. And I believe that's why I didn't have a lot of illnesses growing up. And she also took the dandelions and stretched those collard greens for that Sunday dinner that she fed 19 people by every Sunday. And nobody knew that until she told me, don't tell anybody until I'm gone. And so I think I was about 25 and I told the family and they say, I knew there was a secret going on. And that was her biggest secret, the dandelion. So I've lived my life through the dandelions and teaching people about the dandelions and different herbs and spices that they should be eating. So I make a dandelion stew. I put oregano and basil and rosemary and onion and garlic, cayenne pepper. Cayenne pepper is very important in your diet because it keeps your body cleansed. It takes a lot of mucus off the body. But people are so afraid of hot things like onion and lynx and ginger. Those things you need to eat every day. That helps you keep that respiratory system in check and that immune system. It builds it as well.
Well, Miss Regina, some of it, my hope is all of this good information is getting out because we have had some technical difficulties. Do you happen to have a one-pager of some tips that you can send to me and I would post on Facebook? If not, so all of those.
Yes, some things that we
So all of those that are watching, what we will do is we will get a one-pager from Miss Regina and we will post it. And Miss Regina, I'm going to have to invite you back because you are full of wisdom and knowledge. But for some reason on this end, the technology is not going through. But my hope is the information is getting through anyway. So if you have a one-pager, I'll talk to you afterwards, have you email it to me. I will post it for all of you that are watching.
I hope so.
All of you that are watching, I think we might have to end this because it might be a little bit too disruptive for you. It is my hope to talk to you again soon. Miss Regina, I'll stay on the line and we will talk and I'll get the document from you and have it posted. Everyone have a happy Thursday. And Miss Regina, thank you so much for your gift of your time.
No problem. Peace and love, everybody. Stay safe.